And hello everyone. Oh, put the glasses back on. I was listening to the video to make sure that I could actually hear myself because one take and I'm pushing. I'm just pushing through them. Um, Mostly because, like I said previously, if you're watching them in sequence, like any decent human would, they're numbered for a reason. um, I just didn't have the energy to get it done, and I keep pushing the book back, and I just had to embrace that the way I'm doing it now is more me. It isn't the best lighting. Um, it's good enough because I took the circle light. Um, that's why I took the glasses off because it works, and I'm comfortable. I'm sweating, but it's actually kind of cold. But yeah. I'm just gonna do them all. I'm gonna be in this shirt. It's gonna be a good bit of poems. Um, and if I stop, I got them done. So I guess life is about learning yourself, and I would rather finish it and have people be upset that it isn't what they expected because it's not. It's not even what I expected it to be. But I can embrace it. I can just accept that this is what it is. So this is me reading the sixth poem. We're going to double check that right now. Hopefully, I'm right. If I'm not, I'm just going to say it's the seventh. It's numbers be numbers. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, it is 6. Oh, I have a title page that says poetry, and I actually do have a poem called poetry, so I counted poetry. I should not have. So that is hilarious. So here we are at number 6, and I almost said 7 again because the poem after this is the one that's highlighted because when I opened up the heading section, it split the page. And so it's assuming I'm reading the next poem. And so even after I realized I was wrong, I still did it wrong in my head. So anyway, here we are with poem number 6. Um, this one I wrote the same time as the previous one, number 5. So I was a teen. I was still in high school. And that's a big part of why it's here because it fits. And, I was going through the same teenage things. So it just makes sense that it's here. And yeah, everything that I said before, I'm not saying it twice because this literally, again, was in that poetry project. I got a B minus, by the way. So not bad for me about to fail. Um, so yeah, I pulled that one out. It was a miracle. A miracle is an understatement. But anyway, so that's it for this intro because I already said it. And here we are. So this is the 6th poem in my series, I See Things in Blue. And the title of the book is Dario. And this poem is called Thought. If only I could lose my pain and make it through the clouds and rain. Just fold it up all nice and tight and throw it out into the night. But suppose someone caught it. Would they now feel my emptiness? Would it take away their happiness? Well, maybe I'll just store it and leave it for a rainy day. But when the days are dark and gloomy, will all my pain come back to haunt me? Or will the pain I have at that time be the only pain that's on my mind. Maybe I'll store it in a bottle and hide it in my closet. Perhaps eventually I'll forget it. But after too many bottles are full and I go to open my closet door, will they all fall out on top of me? Or will my closet grow more room as the pain inside me blooms? Maybe put it in a bottle and send it out to sea, floating away with no destiny. But what about when the tide brings the bottles to shore and pain surrounds me evermore? Will I throw them back into the ocean or crush them with my empty emotion? Well, I guess somehow, someday, I'll know how to work my pain away. But until that day, I'll just cry, cry, cry my pain away. Okay, I like this one because every time I think about it, it reminds me of the fact that I wrote it at the same time as the other one that says, I wish that I could cry, but I can't. And I find that with my poetry, there's a million and one ways to say the same thing and land in the same themes, even if they seem like they're not the same, because in this one, I actually do cry. And it makes sense. And it still breathes the exact same emotion. If only I could lose my pain, you know? And the other one was, I'm yearning to cry again 3 times again, and then once more, release everything I store. It quite literally follows the way that I was writing poetry at this time. But it also features the types of things that I did when I was, an adult. Like, really long sentences. Like, I separated this one. Like, I didn't actually, but after too many bottles are full and I go to open my closet door where they all fall out on top of me. I like writing long sentences because I have quite a few short thoughts, even in that one. Maybe I'll store it in a bottle, hide it in my closet. Perhaps eventually I'll forget it. And then the long line comes, and I like to keep a certain rhythm and pace so that your ears don't get bored. I will throw in a one-word sentence sometimes and then follow it up with a paragraph. There's no reason why writing can't have color. And I approach my books the same way, even though they're not poetry, because flow is a thing. And I know it may not be the most grammatically sound way to write fictional novels because they're not songs and they're not poetry. But I really like my sentences to kind of have a flow, so when you're reading them, you just kind of sink into it without having to do too much mental gymnastics to understand things. Maybe I'm just not that intelligent, but I can find the underlying meaning in things a lot easier if I don't have to try to simply read it and understand it in the first place. And sometimes things that are a little too intellectual, I don't always get them because they're too hard for me to settle into, and they could be very deep and profound, but my brain literally gets tangled in the why would you put this word there instead of there, and why wouldn't it just be easier if you, and oh, that's what it's really about. And I get that a lot, once I dig through things, it's like, oh, I understand it now. And I don't know, maybe that's why I'm not making any money yet. Because I like complex things to be easy to understand at the surface level. Like, it seems like it's something on the surface, and then you dig deeper and there's more, versus it being complex to begin with. And then you also have to find the complexity within the complexity, if that makes sense. But that's just me being a neurodivergent ass who never, who just doesn't understand things, English and math. They were not my forte in school, and I'm okay with that. I'm writing poems and novels now, but that's a big part of why I like this one. And I don't think juxtaposition is the right word, but in comparison to the one previously, because the other one is about me thinking about the type of pain that I'm trying to hide in this one. And so they go very well together, and that's why they're back to back, because this one expresses me not wanting to deal with it, and that's why it's after it. And I put the one before it, which is me wanting to feel the things that I'm getting rid of in this one, which is why, I actually cry in this one. Because when you're feeling a certain emotion, you don't necessarily know what you're in until you're not in it anymore. And that's what I wish is. You're no longer there anymore because I threw my, put my pain in the closet and I ignored it. And so now I'm at the point where I realize, you know what, man, that wasn't the best decision, but you live and you learn. And hopefully you get through. I'm over 40 now, so clearly I survived my teenage years. So I did all right. And that's that for that one. I don't know why, but I kind of, especially this one. This one's fun to read. Just like Ninja was fun to read. I actually like reading this one. And some of the poems that are in here, I don't necessarily like reading them. So if I tell you I don't like reading it, I actually left at the end. I left all the poems in this first book, but I haven't gone through them all. There's 7 books. So who knows what might happen. But that's that for this one. That's nothing more to say, really. So if you made it this far, as per usual, thanks for stopping by.